Oh, hi, Mama. Welcome to the Manifesting Motherhood podcast. My name is Jessie LeVay-Count, and I'm a certified life and fertility coach who specializes in the art of using manifestation to call your babies home. I'm obsessed with helping you fall back in love with yourself, step into your power, say yes to your best life, and manifest the family of your dreams. If you're trying to conceive, and you want to learn how to manifest not only your pregnancy, but a life full of laughter and adventure and beautiful memories with your babies, then you have come to the right place. My goal on this podcast is to help you see that you are meant for motherhood and provide you with the tools, strategies, resources, and support you need to step into your mama energy and bring your baby home. This podcast will serve as your weekly dose of fertile girl energy and the mindset work you need to quantum jump into your mama timeline. We're going to have an absolute blast, and thank you so much for hitting that play button today. Let's make some magic and make some babies. Welcome back to another episode of the Manifesting Motherhood podcast. I know I say this every week, but these are all topics that I'm so excited to talk about with you guys. I can't wait to dive into this topic today because this is a question that I get a lot as well. How do I deal with other people's announcements, other people's pregnancies, other people's baby showers? Like, how do I deal with seeing pregnant women out in the wild and not let it ruin me? Or this could be announcements online. Why does this hurt so bad? And what can I do to make it stop hurting? And the question that runs underneath all of this is why her and not me? And everyone always says, I'm happy for her, I'm sad for me. And while I understand this sentiment completely, here's what I want to talk about first, is that yes, your feelings are valid. They are valid in the way that you are having them. You are having them as a part of your human experience. Your feelings are valid. Did that fix it? Problem solved? And I say this a little bit cheeky because the loving truth is that yes, your feelings are valid. They are absolutely valid. They are valid in the way that you are a human having a human experience, like I said. However, they are not required. You don't need those feelings. They're not required in order for your baby to come home, in order for this to happen. But that's another episode altogether. So how do I handle this question of why her and not me? First and foremost, I want to lay out a little scenario for you. This is how I shifted away, like personally, how I shifted away from the jealousy and stepped into the vibration of celebration. Because what manifestation or the law of attraction tells us is that like attracts like. Like feelings attract like feelings. So I knew that if I wanted the celebration of my own baby coming home, I could no longer hold the vibration of hating pregnancy for everyone else except myself. And I know that as you're listening to this, that you are happy for them, sad for you. But this is the sneaky way that this presents. And I knew that I could no longer hold the vibration of being mad or depressed or disappointed when it was easy for others, and then making that mean that's not easy for me. The two don't match. If I want celebratory champagne, baby showers, we're partying, we're toasting, we're throwing our hands in the air, kind of baby arrival coming home. If I want that kind of celebration for myself, if that's something that I want for me, I made the conscious decision, I will now consciously choose to celebrate it in others. And here's how I got there. Because a lot of the subconscious programming that's running underneath the surface, we have to take the backdoor approach. So I'm going to lay out this little scenario for you. I want you to imagine with me that you're in a shopping mall. And in the shopping mall, you see a mom and maybe like a 2-year-old little boy running around. And he's super cute. He's got his hands on the stroller. Mama is talking to him. And you turn around to look at something on the shelf. And when you turn back around, the mother has lost all color in her face. She looks absolutely panic-stricken. And the little boy is gone. She can't find him anywhere. And you get this sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you just stand frozen while you watch her throw all of the clothes off the racks, looking underneath the dresses on the mannequins, and she's shouting the little one's name. She's asking people if they've seen him anywhere. You might even start looking too. When all of a sudden, the security guard brings the little boy out by the hand from behind the rack and brings the boy back to his mom. And everyone in the store is like breathing this sigh of relief. Everyone in the store is like, oh, thank goodness. They've been reunited. And she scoops the little boy up and she grabs his head and she kisses his head and she cries. And all you want to do is cry too. You're so happy that what could have been a very sticky situation ended up with mama and baby back together, right? And how are you feeling in this moment? So check in with yourself and ask yourself, how am I feeling in this moment? Did you want the security guard to bring her baby back to you? Well, of course not. That's her baby. We're not monsters. Did you wish that she would have never found her baby? No, of course, we're not monsters. And this example came to me, it was like a realization that popped up out of nowhere once I really started engaging with my manifestation practices when we were bringing our first baby home. And I thought to myself, I'm thinking of my baby like a pass-fail process, not like a person. A real life flesh and blood person that I am going to raise and spend the rest of my days loving deeply. Every time a baby gets reunited with their mama, every time that union happens is something worth celebrating. It is something worth jumping up and down about. When we think about baby in a physical sense, rather than just a process to get a positive pregnancy test, we zoom out, we go bigger. We start to think at a higher level. Her being reunited with her baby in that shopping mall has nothing to do with me or my success. It doesn't mean anything about me or my fertility journey. I am making it mean that I am looking at somebody else's positive test saying, here's what this means about me. This means that I'm a failure, that I'm falling short, that this is really easy for everybody else and not for me. That's what I'm making this mean. And I don't need to give it that meaning. That's not required. I say this like so zoomed out, I can make it mean whatever I want. From neutralizing the situation, like this makes me feel no different than if she chose to wear a green shirt today, all the way down to embodying celebration. It means nothing about me. It is not a reflection of my journey. It is not a reflection of what I'm capable of. And I am where I am with these two babies that showed up in a way that makes no sense because I put my blinders on. I didn't care about what was going on with anybody else. I made the conscious decision. I reached a point in my manifestation journey where I was like, yes, babies for everyone, pregnancy for everyone. I love easy pregnancy. That's what I want for myself. I want to get pregnant easily. I wanted to feel like I was being fed grapes while being like fanned with giant palm leaves and making love to my man. And then, whoa, I can get pregnant. Holy shit. That's how I wanted it to feel. Even if we ended up utilizing medical assistance, that's how I wanted it to feel because that's the experience that I prefer to have. That experience feels better. And so that is the experience that I will celebrate for other people. When other people are reunited with their babies, that is what I will embody. That is the energy I choose to embody going forward. I was like Oprah out here. You get a baby and you get a baby and you get a baby and you get a baby. I want everyone around me to get pregnant who wants to. I want every mama who wants to be reunited or united with her baby to get pregnant. I want babies to come home to mamas, even when it doesn't make sense to me, who are not even trying. Like, those mamas need those babies and those babies need those mamas for some reason beyond what I can comprehend and understand. And that's wonderful. I'm trusting the unfolding of that union, of that connection, the beginning of a tiny person who could grow up to change the world, not just mine, but everybody's babies. Yes, crackhead Sue down the street may be on her 5th kid, and she might not, quote unquote, deserve a baby. But I have realized that I am not the judge and the jury when it comes to those kinds of things, and it doesn't mean anything about me. If it means anything, the meaning I would choose to assign it is that it means I don't have to be perfect in order to get pregnant. If she's out doing crack, then why am I trying to be perfect? If she's out doing crack and she's had 5 babies, the perfectionism is not required. And where you will find me is that if there is something unfolding for me in my life that I am actively manifesting, that I am consciously putting my energy towards, you will find me celebrating every single person who has that thing. Because in that energy of celebration, that energy of, yes, this is highlighting that I want that, and that that is possible for me, and that that is what is coming next for me. That is what is currently unfolding for me. So I'm going to do everything I can to call that into me. And when we start to think about baby in physical form, not just a positive pregnancy test, not just a pregnancy that we anxiously move through and hope for the best, but the beginning of a beautiful little life, flesh and blood person that we are going to get to love and squish and hold. When you start to zoom out and you start to think about baby in physical form, you are thinking like a mama, not like a woman who is stuck in TTC misery for the rest of her foreseeable future. Her being reunited with her baby via conception or the shopping mall, those two things are no different. I don't want her baby. Her baby means nothing about my baby, my body, my ability to be the mom that I want to be today. I'm choosing to make it mean that, and I'm going to switch that now. And that is a declaration that you can make right now. That is an option that is available to you. This is not me telling you that you have to, because you don't. There are no rules. You make the rules. The response that you have where you break down and cry when you see a pregnancy announcement is just one of many options that's available to you. And none of these are bad or good or right or wrong. They simply are. This is taking all of the good, bad out of it, all of the morality out of it. They are simply options that are available to you. It doesn't mean that every thought that crosses your brainscape is absolute truth. This is simply the reaction that you are used to, the one that you have practiced, the one that has grooved its way into your neural pathways. Therefore, when the instance continues to come up again and again, you will continue to have the same host of chemical reactions from that emotion course through your body. And if this is something that you want to shift, it's time to start practicing something new, because it feels really easy to get stuck in the comparison, to get stuck judging your movement or your momentum or your success on your fertility journey based on where someone else is. That's a biological human response. We want to keep up with the Joneses. We want to keep up with the moving herd. And if we feel like we're falling behind or we're going to get left behind, socially in the brainstem, that does something that says we're not safe if we're alone in the woods with all these bears and coyotes. But when you start operating at the next level, and stop waiting for the world around you to look a certain way before you create shifts in yourself, and you start creating these shifts within yourself before the outside world has changed, even though everything in the outside world looks the same. When you choose these new energies and you start to say, fuck that, I refuse, I'm getting into an energy of celebration because this is also available to me. Sometimes it's just as easy as bringing forth a new option for your brain to pick from. And when you start to choose that different energy, the same thing, like surrounding the same things that triggered you or activated you in the past, that's when the universe starts to move in the direction of the things that you want. That's when you start creating massive momentum. Not just when it's easy, but like in these moments where it's like you're typically, your identity is wrapped up in choosing this common reaction that you've been choosing for so long, because who am I without my struggles? Who am I without this story? And when you start to shift that up and you start to let go of the stranglehold you have on that, that's when the universe is like, oh, we're going to move this over here and we're going to move this over here. This is how we're operating now. Okay, whoa. I see this big shift in the energy. I see the big shift in the belief. It's not good or bad. All of a sudden now you deserve a baby. The universe is simply responding to you. I see this big shift in the vibration here. It's time to start moving things in this direction, and we're going to move them fast because this fucking woman is unstoppable and she knows that she is, and that the universe can only ever say yes to you, and what you believe about is true about the world and the way that it works for you. So yes, hell yes, I'm going to whoop it up for every pregnant woman around me. Like, I'm going to whoop it up for every woman who gets pregnant easily, every woman who wasn't even trying. I would love to have that experience. Therefore, I'm going to celebrate that. I'm not going to try to actively hate it and try to love it at the same time. I'm going to zoom out bigger. I'm going to start thinking like a mama, not like a person who is struggling to conceive, because for me, What really shifted and why things shifted fast was because I closed that chapter mentally, emotionally, and energetically, even before physical reality had given me a reason to. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how it happens. I don't care when it happens. I just know it is. And this is what happens when you begin to make identity shifts that go deeper than the conscious level. This is what happens when you start to change the meaning of things happening around you, where you are no longer reactive, but you set the tone. You make the meaning of everything around you. And that is the best news. This is not me knocking you for how you felt about anything in the past. It really isn't, because nothing is good or bad. Everything in manifestation, everything is inherently meaningless. You assign the meaning. This is the reality of how the universe works. When we talk about physical reality, but the reality of the situation is no. The reality of the situation is that everything is working in response to you, your beliefs, and the meaning that you assign things. And that's not good or bad. It just is. Whether it's a pregnancy announcement or something else, another option is always available to you, mama. And when you start celebrating, oh my God, more and more and more reasons to celebrate start to come your way, including, but certainly not limited to, your baby coming home. That's the way manifestation works. It's just a matching game. And with the identity work that we do inside the Manifesting Motherhood Academy, these shifts start to happen at the subconscious level, and they make the new stories and the truths start to feel effortless, not like something you have to force yourself to do. You get to do this in a way that doesn't feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall, mama. So I know this episode created a huge shift for somebody, because this was a huge, monumental shift for me, that I've been thinking about my baby like a process, and my baby is a person. Can we zoom out here when we're thinking about other people's pregnancies and our pregnancies and other people's babies? These are real people we are creating, real live flesh and blood people. And if we start to think about them as the little tiny people that we will be holding, it changes the game. That's where we zoom out. Okay. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to see you back here for the next episode. Now go out there and make some magic and some babies. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you absolutely loved what you heard today, if it created a shift for you or gave you permission to look at your journey to motherhood in a new way, if it made you feel lighter, anything like that, be sure to leave me a review on iTunes so that I can keep the good stuff flowing your way, mama. And if you don't already follow me on social media, come grab the extra manifesty vibes over on TikTok, where you'll find me as @manifestingmotherhood, or visiting my website at ohimama.com. I love you so big, mama, and cannot wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, go out there and say yes to that life that baby cannot wait to come home to.